Credit to North Texas. I thought they did a really good job of sticking to their game plan. Really attacking us off the dribble. Did a really good job rebounding. Their post players are super athletic inside, hard to guard, and their guards are hard to contain. But I thought that both teams fought, but there was just droughts where we couldn't score. And I thought that we did a much better job. We were much more cohesive today. Shared the ball better, but just could not convert in situations when we needed to. So I have to get better.
If we're going to talk about at least the bright side, you guys did help hold them to 0 threes, which is obviously like a huge part of their game. So at least on the
but I think their game plan was not to settle for threes. It was to they were attacking us so much off the dribble. But yeah, I think it's hard for any team to only take 4. I mean, and that was one of the things I talked to our team about. We have shooters, but we can't live and die by the 3 right now. Last game 1 for 17, this game 5 for 26, because it becomes contagious and then you start settling for threes and then get transition. So for us, I think if you look at the common theme here, they took 2s and attacked the rim with the free throw line, shot 28 free throws. We took 3s, didn't make them, didn't attack the rim, and was 8 for 12 on free throws. So like those things are hard. And I think but the fight was there. We were better defensively. We fought for 50-50 balls. Some stuff we didn't come up with. But, and Ty's not going to go 3 for 15, 1 for 8. Like, she's going to hit more shots. Yana's not going to go 0 for 5. But right now we are as a team. So we can't take so many threes. That's just a reality. And we have to get to the rim, get to the free throw line, finish, and we have that. We continue to struggle finishing around the rim and then settling for a lot of threes. So that's just what I have to coach us on.
With Ty's look, with 5 seconds left, it almost looked like it was a miscommunication about when or where she should be shooting that.
No, there was a play for her to shoot the 3.
Okay.
Yeah, so I gave it to her twice. Ty's made, and I could have gone to Kyla or someone else, but at that time, Ty takes quick threes and she makes those big shots, and she has her whole career, so I knew I was going to her to try to hit the 3.
Okay.
So she received the screen to hit the 3.
The defensive buy-in you talked about there, you were obviously very disappointed with it in the last game.
Yeah.
I imagine the conversation, even in a loss, will be a little bit more positive.
Yeah, very. It was a lot more positive because we have a long season and we are getting better. So it's really important to stick to the process, buy into what we're doing. And they are buying in. They're playing harder. But now I got to figure out a way for us to convert that, do that, and make shots. And everybody, the defense is really collapsing. So when the ball stays on one side and we take shots, it's just hard defensively. So we have to learn with patience and execution to jump stop, not turn the ball over with the charges, not get so deep and turn it over. Jump stop, get the ball to the opposite corner and play off of that. And sometimes off of our forward, they were sagging. So then that doesn't mean you have to take a 3. That means go be a screener because there's no help on the pick and roll defense. So I think just the understanding of that, we don't understand that. So I have to show them, and my job is to show them, help them understand and see it, and then they get confident in it. But they are doing what I asked. They did what I asked, executed on the pick and roll, and we were effective on that. They went away from pick and roll. But we got to then guard the ball. Because they went away from the pick and roll action because we guarded it and we were turning them over, and then they just beat us off the dribble or miscommunication in transition. So we just have to get better at that stuff and knowing when to gamble, when to reach, when not. Those little things, but they accumulate at the end of the game and you lose the game by 3 points. So for us to keep a team under 60 at home, we have to win those games. We have to be able to score over 60.
Abizam had a career night on the boards.
Yeah.
What was your biggest impression about how hard she fought down low?
Yeah, she fought so hard. This was her first time starting, 7 offensive, 7 defensive. But the energy and the ones she didn't get, she helped us get. And we really we controlled the boards in the first half. Second half, not so much. I believe that, I don't know for sure, but I think we gave 9 offensive rebounds second half. So we have to be better at that. But I thought she fought. She had some steals and layups. I thought she played a really good game. And it's funny because if you would have talked to her a couple weeks ago, she would have said, "I'm not going to play." She didn't think she was going to play. Now, she had a chance and she started tonight and she produced.
Yeah, right at 9, the second half there.
Yeah, so and those are things, but those are things in the game. Those are deflating. You play good defense, offensive rebound, but some of that comes from our rotation, and we didn't give those up in the first half. So we just have to get better.
You've obviously already traveled together, but this is a longer road trip coming up where you're going to have a lot of time together as a team. What do you hope to see from your team, not just their play on the floor, but maybe a little bit extra time to grow together as a group?
Yeah, the funny thing is our group really gets along. We have a really good group. They hang out, they spend time. So it's not even that. It's just like, I think so many people playing together, learning, and like being a star at the role place. The rules may be changing. So the rules are still being identified. And so, like, some people, I wanted to play Janiyah more. I wanted to play Grace more. I gave Lizzie an opportunity early because she's a freshman. Need to give her some experience. But typically, it's just sometimes how the flow and how the run was with a certain group, so you kind of ride with them. But I got to figure out how to get more from Janiyah. How to figure out to get Grace in some good situations. Maybe put Grace and Miriam together, and just sometimes run Ty off the ball and let her get some scoring. Find ways to get Kyla going sometimes. I think Paulina did really well running the team today, but I gotta kind of morph some things and get them going. Figure out how to isolate Nay, not at the rim because she doesn't want to play their back to basket, but isolate her facing up and not necessarily from the 3-point line. So those are things I got to figure out how to use some of them a little bit better so they can be more efficient, because right now we're just not efficient offensively at all. But before it was our defense and our offense. Now our defense is better. Now it's our offense. So we're getting better. In the bottom, and honestly, funny thing is, most of the time, this time of the year, you usually play all cupcake games. I think hindsight's 20/20, but I would have probably not played at Texas Tech early. I would have probably had it just a little bit different, like looking at how our progression, our growth is. Because if you play all cupcakes early, like most teams around the country, you're then building confidence, working through those things, and then you're better when you play like a Texas Tech later. So we have taken some punches. We've played some better teams than typical for a team of new 14 people. But it is what it is. We learn from it, and we're going to get better. But it's just sticking to that process and figuring out how to extract it fast from them.
Now, I know you don't have team captains.
Yeah.
This team is very new. Is there anyone during this rough patch that has been at least speaking up and getting the team?
They all have. Kyla Deck has really done that. Kyla's been a great leader. She really has. She's taken that on, but I think they all have done it in different ways. But I think Zara has really stepped up as a sophomore and said some good things, but not a woman of many words. But Kyla is not afraid to have difficult conversations. She's very passionate, and she plays hard, so people listen when she talks. I think Paulina's doing better at speaking more. I think they all, like Grace says good things, doesn't say a lot, but when she says stuff, people listen. So they're all bringing their experiences. I think that as a player, though, it's hard. They're all trying to figure out their roles, too. And they're all not playing the way they feel like they want to. So I do give Grace in that, because that will come. We're not going to go. Ty is usually shooting 40%. Janiyah is a great shooter. So we will find ways to get them going, but we all just can't be cold at the same time. So that's been hard as a coach. And I don't think I've ever coached a team where we took 26 threes a game or 20-something threes a game. So it's a lot more than I'm used to. But then I got to get them confident in doing something else so we don't settle for that. So that's the work in progress, because we don't have a lot of people that really get to rim besides Zara. Paulina does at times with her left hand, but really to create for herself, it's really Zara. So I got to find ways to get them to the rim in different isolation plays.
So if you had it your way, it sounds like the top two games and attempts for the whole year may end up being this Texas Tech game and this North Texas game if you're able to.
Yeah. It's different if we're shooting, if we're shooting 45%, 43%, I would be okay with 26 threes. But you can't take 26 threes and be shooting like 12%. So that just doesn't work, because it's the same as a turnover. So if you're going to take so many threes, it's like a turnover, because they're coming randomly. We're unguarded. That's why the threes are open. But you don't have to get baited and take that. You take the shots when you want, and they're not falling. You have to drive it. So I think a player's natural progression or natural tendency is, I'm open, let me shoot it. But I'm not the type you can't do that, but that's not what I want. So I'm going to morph more into that, because we're settling for that. But then I'm missing them so many. It's the same as a turnover. Then it's fast break. Then you're not on point. But they're all organized, so they're going to control the boards in those situations, because they're all in the paint. So we have to understand that. Then maybe we take that later in the clock. Maybe we take that after everybody touches it, so everybody's feeling good. Or we have to get the ball to the opposite corner and stress the defense, because if they're sagging aside, you can't sag inside and help on pick and roll. So understanding that, because then it's an easier shot. Then just the understanding of that, and we don't have the understanding of that. So I have to teach them and show them in film and explain that and teach that. And a lot of them have not, they don't know that. So it's, but they're experienced players. But it's just a different situation, and they're in different roles now. So I think getting a grasp on that, and we have to come together fast. And now we're going on the road, so right now there's no easy game. You're seeing there's upsets all over the country. So I think for us, it's just sticking with the process. And that's the thing. I don't know the last time I've ever in my career, I don't know if we've ever lost 4 games in a row. I don't even know. Not for a long, maybe last year, a couple of years, but before that, I hadn't lost for like 5 years more than 1 or 2 games in a row. I don't know. We have to look that up, but it's a process. And I'm not the type that's like gonna get discouraged, because I know they're good players. I know how Ty shoots. I know how Janiyah shoots. I know how Kyla Deck shoots. I know what Yana is, an excellent pick and pop. So I'm not discouraged in that sense, and I watch it every day. I just have to help them have an easier time doing in the game, and that's my job. So I got to figure stuff out to help them, because they're young. So.